Did you know that about 90% of startups fail? That's a staggering number. Many entrepreneurs pour their hearts and wallets into ideas that never take off. But here's the twist. Failure is often the key to creativity and success. In fact, research shows that people who embrace failure are 40% more likely to be creative in their problem solving. So, why is failure such a powerful teacher? When we stumble, we learn lessons we can't get from success. Each mistake pushes us to think differently, explore new ideas, and challenge the status quo. It's like a workout for your brain. Each misstep builds resilience and sparks innovation. In this video, we'll dive deep into the surprising ways failure can fuel your creativity. You'll discover how to turn setbacks into stepping stones, the science behind resilience, and why the most creative minds embrace risk. Get ready to change your perspective on failure and unlock your creative potential. Let's jump in and explore how you can use failure to become more innovative than ever before. Chapter 1. The Spark of Failure. How creativity thrives in uncertainty. Failure can be uncomfortable, but it's often where the magic happens. When you don't know what comes next, that's when your brain starts working overtime. Psychologists call this cognitive dissonance, a fancy way of saying that our minds hate uncertainty. But instead of letting this stress shut you down, it can push you to think in new ways. A study from the University of California, Berkeley found that embracing uncertainty makes people more likely to come up with creative solutions. When you don't have a clear path forward, you're forced to look for answers you wouldn't have considered. This mental flexibility is key to creativity. Think of famous failures like J.K. Rowling, who was rejected by 12 publishers before landing a deal for Harry Potter. Each no forced her to refine her work, making it better each time. Failure isn't just a dead end, it's a chance to explore new routes you wouldn't have taken otherwise. So how can you embrace this in your own life? Start by viewing failure as part of the process, not the end of it. Every time something doesn't go as planned, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Shifting your mindset from, I failed, to, I'm learning, is one of the best ways to stay creative when things go wrong. And remember, your brain actually rewires when you approach problems from multiple angles. It's like giving your creativity a workout. Uncertainty is scary, but it's also the breeding ground for fresh ideas. Chapter 2. Cracking the code of mistakes. Turning setbacks into masterpieces. Mistakes often feel like roadblocks, but they're really hidden opportunities. The trick is learning how to crack the code of failure and turn it into something valuable. Many of the world's most famous inventions came from errors. Take post-it notes, for example. Spencer Silver, a 3M scientist, was trying to make a super strong adhesive. Instead, he accidentally created a weak one that stuck to surfaces temporarily. That failure ended up becoming one of 3M's most successful products ever. According to a study in psychological science, people who see mistakes as a learning opportunity, rather than a sign of incompetence, are more likely to be creative. They tend to bounce back quicker, and they're willing to experiment more. This willingness to explore after a failure is crucial. One interesting way to practice this is called reverse brainstorming. Instead of asking, how do I fix this problem? You ask, how can I make this worse? It might sound strange, but this approach frees you from the pressure of finding the perfect solution. Often, the best ideas come when you stop trying to avoid mistakes and instead, play with them. Another example is Thomas Edison. He famously said, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. Edison's approach wasn't about getting it right the first time. He knew that each mistake got him one step closer to the answer. In the creative process, every mistake is a clue, not a dead end. So, instead of dreading mistakes, use them to guide you. Each failure teaches you something new, helping you get closer to cracking the code of your next great idea. Chapter 3. Failure and Fearlessness. Why the creative greats embrace risk. Creativity and fearlessness go hand in hand. If you're afraid to fail, you'll stick to what's safe, and safe is rarely creative. Risk is a necessary ingredient in the recipe for innovation. The most successful creators know this and aren't afraid to take big leaps. Pablo Picasso once said, I am always doing that which I cannot do, in order that I may learn how to do it. His approach was simple. Push yourself into unknown territory. Sure, you might fail, but you'll learn something invaluable along the way. The truth is, most of us fear failure because we're worried about judgment. But what if you viewed each failure as proof that you're trying something new? In 2016, a study from Stanford University found that people who see failure as a normal part of the learning process are far more likely to develop creative ideas. They feel less pressure to be perfect, which allows them to take bolder risks. Here's a strategy to embrace this mindset. Set a failure quota. Aim to fail at least once a week. Yes, you read that right. When you make failure a goal, it loses its sting. You stop seeing it as a catastrophe and start viewing it as just another step in your creative process. Steve Jobs famously said, "Sometimes when you innovate, you make mistakes. It is best to admit them quickly and get on with improving your other innovations." Jobs knew that holding onto a fear of failure stifles creativity. Instead, he took risks, made mistakes, and then moved on, always learning from what went wrong. If you want to be truly creative, you have to let go of the fear of failure. Embrace risk as part of the process, and you'll open up a whole new world of possibilities. Failure isn't something to avoid, it's something to welcome. If you're finding these insights valuable, don't forget to subscribe. Join our community and stay updated for more tips on nurturing your creativity. Chapter 4. The Science of Resilience. Rewiring your brain to bounce back stronger. Resilience is more than just a buzzword. It's a skill you can develop. When you face failure, your brain responds by forming new connections. This is called neuroplasticity, which means your brain can change and adapt. A study published in Nature shows that experiencing setbacks can strengthen your brain's ability to tackle future challenges. So, every time you stumble, you're training your mind to be more creative. How can you become more resilient? One effective strategy is to practice mindfulness. Mindfulness helps you stay present and calm, even in the face of failure. Research from Harvard University found that mindfulness can increase your capacity for creativity. When you're less stressed, your brain is free to explore new ideas. Another key element of resilience is self-compassion. Instead of beating yourself up after a mistake, treat yourself like you would a good friend. Kristin Neff, a pioneer in self-compassion research, says, treating yourself with kindness when you fail can boost your resilience. This mindset allows you to recover faster and encourages you to keep trying. Set small, achievable goals to build your confidence. Each time you reach a goal, no matter how small, your brain releases dopamine, the feel-good chemical. This can motivate you to tackle bigger challenges. Plus, it reinforces the idea that failure is a part of learning. Don't forget the power of reflection. After a setback, take time to think about what went wrong and how you can improve. Studies show that reflective practice can enhance problem-solving skills and creativity. By learning from failures, you build a toolkit for future success. Finally, remember that even the most successful people experience failure. J.K. Rowling didn't just face publisher rejections, she also struggled with poverty and depression before hitting it big. Her resilience is a testament to the power of bouncing back stronger. Chapter 5. The Playground of Experimentation. Finding freedom in failed attempts. Imagine creativity as a playground where experimentation is encouraged. When you allow yourself to play with ideas without the fear of failing, you open up a world of possibilities. This playful mindset can lead to remarkable innovations. Research from the University of Pennsylvania shows that playful exploration often results in more creative solutions. To tap into this playground, give yourself permission to try wild ideas. Set aside time for brainstorming sessions where there are no bad ideas. You can use techniques like mind mapping to visualize connections between different concepts. This can help spark inspiration and lead to unexpected breakthroughs. One unique strategy is to adopt a 20% time approach, popularized by Google. This means dedicating 20% of your work hours to projects that interest you, even if they aren't part of your main job. This freedom encourages experimentation, and many successful projects, like Gmail, were born from this policy. Another fun way to experiment is to switch up your environment. Changing your surroundings can lead to new perspectives and ideas. Studies show that working in different locations boosts creativity. Try writing in a cafe or sketching in a park. These fresh settings can spark new thoughts. Don't be afraid to embrace the fail fast philosophy. This means trying out ideas quickly and learning from what doesn't work. Companies like Amazon thrive on this mindset. They understand that quick failures lead to faster learning and ultimately better products. Finally, keep a failure journal. Document your failures and what you learned from each one. This practice not only helps you see your growth but also reminds you that failure is a natural part of the creative journey. Remember, the playground of creativity is open for exploration. The more you play and experiment, the more ideas you'll generate. If you enjoyed this exploration into failure and creativity, make sure to subscribe. Join us for more insights and tips to nurture your creative spirit.